Okay, so in the IT perspective, we both speak, of course, it's mostly IT what we go here. I would say there are two major ways the communication goes on, meaning among the hosts, or maybe programs within the computers, or even lower level stuff like kernel processes and processes or jobs which are part of the system itself. The communication which goes on and on and on and on would go in two different ways, in two major ones. Maybe there are more, but these are the two major you need to remember if you don't know them already. So the first one is called client to server, okay? And the other one is called peer-to-peer, okay? That's the way everything in regards of communication nowadays within the IT industry or IT idea is kind of related to it. And why it's so important? Because if you see, guys, we cannot live anymore without our phone sets. I mean, it's ringing, it's blinking all the time. So that means we're communicating with something all the time, but the telephone itself is doing much more things we don't see. We don't even know they exist. Right? So it's using this basic ways of communication even when we don't know it's doing this type of thing. So the client to server, obviously you have one or several servers, okay, and several clients, or maybe one, but at least one. Okay, that's the client 1, that's the client 2, client 3, and client N, I could say. And as I mentioned, there might be more than one server. For simplicity, I'm using this one. So what's going on? The important thing here you guys to remember is this guy is always a server. These guys are always clients. It's very easy to remember it actually. Imagine you go to a restaurant. I really like the samosa. The guys who are doing the samosas, it's 500 meters on the street below. It's a really nice restaurant, small restaurant, India one. I go there very often. But you know, I sit there and I wait the server to give me something. You know, I'm ordering. He bring it to me. When I'm finished, I'm paying and I'm going home. I don't take the plate myself and go to do this thing myself. You know? I mean, someone is doing it to me, okay, and I'm paying for this service. So I'm using services from this guy or this girl, and it's getting paid for this in a way. And satisfaction. Me, I'm getting satisfaction, being served well and eating nice food, right? So I'm a client all the time, and she or he the server. Okay? It's always like this. Always like, never change the place. Okay? That's very important to understand. So, that's one of the things. Now here, in the peer-to-peer, what's going on actually? Everybody at certain point or at any point is either a client or server or both. So if I have this guy here, who is at the moment is a client, and I have this one, who at the moment is a server, and I have, well, why is a server? Because let's say this guy is downloading from this guy something. Let's say a movie. This guy downloads from this guy a movie. Okay, but at this point, this guy is not only a client, it's also it's not only a server, it's also a client, because it's downloading from another guy something else. So it's taking it from this guy something else, maybe the same movie. Okay, and basically, but this guy is most probably is not only server as well, because he goes to another one, or maybe from this guy. He downloads something else. Okay, and that would be a lot and a lot and a lot and a lot client and servers combined like that. And they could be in the same time, they might be at certain point. Okay, so some of them may be not the both in the same time. Okay, some of them maybe are just servers, some of them are maybe just client. So this thing as let's say example of this, we could use the BitTorrent. That's how the BitTorrent works. And there are more examples. That's the most, let's say, used one and the most easy to understand one. So now, both of these guys, both of these ways of communication, they're, you know, it's important to understand, guys, that this is very hierarchical thing. So there is hierarchy here. That's the boss. Okay? These guys, they are a little bit below in the hierarchy. Here is a complete mess. There are no bosses here. Everything is, I mean, there is a boss for this second, the next second only one will be the boss. So there is not any hierarchy here. And both of them are used for specific cases into IT in general. Now, when I ask you to write down the, you know, the word group / something, okay? Oh, this is related with this thing. That's why I'm taking some time to explain it. So, in the Microsoft world, well, basically you have three major operating systems nowadays which exist. Okay, the Microsoft, obviously, the Microsoft operating system, which we use at the moment, it has client version and it has server version, which will be a client version. Tell me example of client. What are you using at the moment? What's the name of the operating system? Windows 8.1, Windows 10, Windows 7. If you go back to Windows XP, all of these guys deserve the client operating system. They're done specifically, these guys to act as clients. Okay, that's why. Now, the server operating systems, on the other hand, they are created so give some services. Okay, so basically the server operating systems of Microsoft, the latest one, are the major ones of them are Microsoft Server 2012 R2 and Microsoft Server 2016. Okay, they said 2019 will go soon. I don't know, we'll see. So these are the two. They don't look too much differently, but they're very different. That when you open them, you're gonna see. Let's say the server operating system, it has a role. Let me show you. I'll show you a real server operating system to see how it looks. So. I'll start the broadcast and I'll navigate to my technician's computer in my server room where I'm going. So if I access from my technician's computer a remote server operating system, which might be this one. It's not the good one. Let's say this one. It will ask me for, you know, username, as well as you see, guys, I'm accessing it, you know, remotely, sitting here with you, and I'm accessing it. You see. So here how it looks. Okay, that's how it looks. And as you see, there are things which are called roles and server groups. Well, the roles is the important part. Well, you see an important role here. It's called active domain services. That's what it means. This guy is our domain controller. That's what it's called. Well, it also has the DHCP. Okay. It has DNS services also. We have file and storage services, and so on and so forth. Okay. So as you see, this server is kind of, it looks differently than our computer we're using at the moment. If I go to the tools and if I open the DHCP, let's say, here it is, I'm gonna see, basically I'm gonna see how I could manipulate these services, right? And I'm gonna see our domain here, okay? And I could see all the scopes, you know, when we start speaking about this, I guess you started already speaking, but I could see the address pools, the address leases, all the reservation, if there are some scope options, and so on and so forth. Okay, policies applied and stuff like that. Okay, so as you see, server operating system in Windows, meaning has a specific, it's not exactly like the client operating system. It's something which specifically designed for this type of function. Now, let's open another server. Well, let's open a Linux server now. Okay, so let's open a Linux server. Let's open the management console of this guy. So what I'm opening, it's well, I need to reboot it. That's why it shows me this error. That's okay. Don't worry about this. Actually, what I would see would be very, very similar to what I'm seeing at the moment. Let's see if I'm going to open this one. No, this one too. All of these guys, they're supposed to be rebooted. That's why it shows me this thing. It's okay. We don't worry about this for now. But actually, what I wanted to tell you guys is that the server operating system doesn't look very, in Linux, in the first time, it doesn't look very different, but I'm telling you, it's different too. Okay. Now, I'm not very aware. I know that they have one, the Unix major nowadays representative, which is OS 10. They don't have, they're not very much in the server segment. So we're not talking too much about Apple in server, although they have server operating system as well. So most of the operating system, you want to find out this type of, so that's Microsoft. We set Linux and we set Unix. Okay, so every one of them has the client and the server version. Now, as you see, guys, I just did a very fast demonstration. What is the power of the client-server model? I need to do something which will affect everyone or group of people, or maybe everyone, and just sitting here, or maybe sitting at home, and I'm doing it right away. I cannot do this with this model. I cannot, because in that case, I'm having my users created locally, or the entities which will access the the computers themselves, the hosts themselves, I need to create them local. Okay, and maybe I'm gonna have a user called, let's say it will be called my name, send, on this machine, and maybe I'm gonna have the same user here as well. Well, even though they have the name, the same name, maybe they would have the same password even. Well, they won't be the same users. Like the user who I'm gonna create here, and then doesn't matter on which one machine I'm gonna sit down, okay, I'm gonna log in. It's exactly with you guys. You sit today in this room, you log into the very computer you're sitting, you throw the username with the password. Tomorrow they move you on another place, same thing. You use your username, you use your password. So that's why, because it's created here centrally, and afterwards you're accessing it from the different clients. Basically, you access the server. You're saying to the server, "That's me. Please authenticate me." You put your password, and afterwards the server allows you access to all of its resources, which are allowed to you by the administrator. Okay. Now here, if I would like to do this, well, actually I need to go and to go to an endpoint. So this guy working very well, but if it's at home or very small things, because apparently if I need to do it even for this environment, it will take me all day long to troubleshoot or to find out something because there is no central thing. Right? So it's not designed. Both of them are designed for something, but the peer-to-peer is not designed for central management stuff. Now we set the domain. So if you just do log off, by the way, when you click on your charm button, which is before this on Windows 7 was called in the left corner down, which was called before start button. If you click there, click on it. You see on the top there are three buttons. Well, two buttons. The first one is the search one. Don't click on it. The next one, click on the next one. Between, yes, click on this one. So don't click anywhere. So it says sleep, shutdown, or restart. So if you would like to put the computer on sleep, which means it's a monitor, it's processor, and other stuff which are taking normally a lot of presence when it's awake, if you would like to put it, that's kind of, decrease all the processor on it to the minimum, well, that's what you need to use. Now, if you would like to stop the computer completely, obviously you don't need to shut down. If you do restart, obviously it will go to the state of shutdown and then it will start automatically. Now click on it says your name there, the left icon, yeah? And there is a small avatar. Click on it. There are four different choices. First is change account picture. If you would like to change your picture. Then lock the computer. The third one is sign out. And the fourth one is switch account. Now the difference between lock, sign out, and switch is slight but very, very important one. Now imagine you're working in an environment where there are other people who are working on your computer, where you're in a break, let's say. So what's going on? If you lock the computer will be locked. The next person coming after you, actually you lock it because you downloaded something. It will take 1 hour to download it, and you use your break. So someone else just saw the spot is empty, coming because he or she wants very fast to download something which is important to him or her. And basically, they come because you lock the computer. So what they do, because the icon for the shutdown is there still, well, they can shut down the computer and you're going to lose what you do. Okay? Now, the other scenario here is to sign out. Well, if you sign out, then obviously the process you would like to go. So this downloading of 1 hour or something, you won't go because you're not go. So the solution of this thing is to use the switch account, which means your account will be there. It will be doing something what's going on, but the person who will come will be able to log in, to work, and afterwards even to log off if he or she wants. Okay? So I would say, guys, if you know that there will be no one after you, lock the curtain. That's easier. So actually you could click on the win button and L, it will lock it automatically. I mean, very close, but very fast. Okay, the Windows button and the L. And if you think that there will be someone who might interrupt something you do, use the switch. So when you do the switch, then another person might work while you're not there. Okay, so that's just a tip, I would say. Now, I would like you guys to switch the account. Switch the account. Now, you see other user. And it says username, and it says password, and it says sign in to SuggestGym. Now, I mentioned and I showed you our domain control, right? So we are in a domain environment. So that's the domain we use. Hence, in the Microsoft world, this type of communication also can remain a domain. And in our case here, the domain is called SuggestGym. That's the name. That's what they created. Now, this SuggestGym thing, it's good, but if you need to authenticate, yourself to the system, so what you need to write down, guys, basically is to start with the domain name, which is SuggestGym. Then put the slash, and then put here your username. I'm going to put disassembly at this point, which is not my username, but I'm going to put it just as an illustration. Okay, and then you put your password. Now, because the system, I mean, they created Windows 8 and Windows 10 a little bit more smarter than before. That's why you see the SuggestGym already there. That means this computer has been joined to the domain. That's how we call the members of the domain, the clients of the domain. They have been joined to the domain, and already the people there, they were using this domain. So that's why you don't need to write down actually SuggestGym. You put your username, which most of the time is your student ID. Okay, and then you put the password. But the real thing, what you do, is this thing. Now, this is a little bit older way of how the communications in how the way was organized in Windows. Once again, that's for Windows, right? So it's a little bit older way how it was organized in Windows before. Nowadays, you could even, when you create your, when you're installing your computer and you could create your user at this point, you could even log in with your Hotmail account. So basically, if you know that SuggestGym actually is part of something which is called fully qualified domain name, okay? And you know that basically you could use something else. You could do like this, ascend at SuggestGym.lcl. I need to know just that there is a .lcl. Okay? So you could log in like this as well. Okay? That's the newest way the Microsoft giving us some. Well, it's not only Microsoft, but it's very visualized into the Microsoft environment. Okay? So that's how the domains are working. That's why when I'm asking you, always asking you guys to use backslashes and stuff like that, well, that's the reason. Now, what I want you to write down there, guys, put a dot and put a backslash. Dot, backslash into the username. Just put a dot and a backslash. And the backslash. Now, see what is written beneath now. It's not saying anymore the SuggestGym now. It's saying the name of the computer. So this is the fastest way if you don't remember the name of the computer, find it while logging, as well as that's the way you to log in as one of the local users. When you install for the first time on operating system, you need to create at least one user. Any operating system is kind of kingdom. So this kingdom needs at least a king. Otherwise, how it will be a kingdom if there is no at least a boss? So at least one user, and at least one of these users is supposed to be the super user or the user of all the users. In Linux operating system, the Linux operating system is called root, R-O-O-T. In Windows, it's called administrator by default. Nowadays, both types of operating system, or the three types of operating system, they give you access. They stop this super user, the default one. So you create your own with your own name because they say it's much tougher to be hacked, which is not true. Okay, with proper equipment and not very well prepared. I think it's hackable in 30 seconds. I measure myself, and for you guys will be one faster because we under. I'm hacking the process. So it's when you sleep this way, we try to access the computer local. So we go then to the initial state, or the first time when we do this, the first time we're installing the Windows, basically is part of something which is called a workgroup. Okay, the workgroup. So in that case, instead of writing down this thing, you could write down either a dot, backslash, the name of the user. Well, once again, this user is completely different than this one. It's a user created locally on every one of these computers. So you need to know on any computer which user or users are created and which are their passwords, as well as you need to know the name of the computer. Well, either the dot or the PC name. And, well, there is another way, obviously. You could use workgroup and the name. Well, the default workgroup created is workgroup. Sometimes they might create different. If it's different, right? We need to have a different name. But the workgroup is the default one. That's why they call actually in the Microsoft world, the P2P communication, they call it a workgroup. Okay. And again, the password, which is specific for this one. Make sense? That's what it is. It's a little bit, I mean, you sit down and you put it, but you see there is kind of thing behind it. Now in Linux, why I'm saying Linux, because I'm having a computer on the other side, on the server room, which is CentOS 7, which is Red Hat, which is Linux. Okay, so on this Linux, that's where it says 172.24.50.54. What is this? Or 64. What's that? How do we call this type of address? That's the IP address of the server over there. Yeah. So this IP address, there is a subfolder which is shared for everyone, which is called obviously SI. That's why you put the IP address and the name of the name of the subfolder. And after this, it's asking you and say, okay, authenticate to myself. Need to allow you to do. So what you do, basically, you write down workgroup, because obviously this computer is not part of the domain. We don't know the name of the computer. Remotely, we cannot, this dot thing is working only when you are sitting on the computer. It won't work remotely. Okay, we've got something remotely, it won't show anything. So you just do workgroup then, because by default, when you're creating the Samba, that's the way Linux to share its file system with Windows, so Windows users to be able to use it. The default for it is workgroup as well. They did it so people who are coming from Windows, because they did Samba for Windows users. So they did it so the people to use the workgroup instead. So you need to understand that what you do when you sit on the computers and what you do when you're trying to access these results on the other side, so you have to watch a movie or download files and whatever. They are two completely different operating systems, two completely different stuff. Okay, but you need to understand this because you guys supposed to know more than the other guys on the other side. That's what you do. You are mostly IT guys. These guys all have developed. I'm gonna put this into the site so you have it there. But any questions at any point, you know, we're gonna discuss. It's very crucially important. At certain point, when I started working into the IT, I'm giving myself an example because I'm a little bit awkward example. Don't follow my steps for sure. I came in Canada at the age of 41. 41. And I had a good job in a different you know, different domain back in Europe. But we came here because of the kids in my life. And actually, I needed to switch because my French is not good enough to do whatever I was doing in Europe. I was selling mostly stuff. So I couldn't do it here. My French is very weak. So basically, I switched to something which before this was kind of hobby. But switching it is not easy. You need to go like you guys. I need to go to school, stuff like that. So, you know, I switched it. I learned whatever I needed to learn, did the internship and stuff like that. And still can't find out a job. It was very tough. Find out your first job, they're looking for experience and stuff like this. At certain point, I found out my first job, so I was already aged 43, I guess, or 45, 44. I found it, and what happened after this? I mean, another job which I was applying to, people called me for it as well. And at the beginning, I said, okay, I'm not ready for the job. But the first one wasn't very good. And the second one, they were proposing me to work at Saturday and Sunday. So I said, okay, let me try to do the both. And the second one was very nice because I needed to stay at home. They provided me with computer, 4, 5, 6 monitors. Okay. And what I was doing Saturday and Sunday, 4-hour shifts, monitoring 7. Well, actually, 4 of them were extremely good enterprise class companies. I was monitoring their networking devices, all of this. Okay? So you just sit there and monitoring the routers, switches, and stuff like that, hours. They're specialized clothing, they show you everything involved. It's easy. Easy. It's a lot. One of the companies alone get 5,000 around. So, I mean, all the time it's happening something with us. And then there are 6 more. And you get big, several books like this, something's happened, call this, call that, call this, call that. No, it's a lot of work. You're alone, working alone. Okay? So I'm saying, knowing this, for this type of job, which is basically paid, right? You see, it doesn't look bad. First of all, it's giving you a lot of experience. People know you after this, you know. They know that you can do this thing. It's important, even though it's not very well. The other thing, you know, most of the time, especially Saturday and Sunday, when you work like that, yeah. So, to finish it faster, Saturday and Sunday only executives come. Only executive. It's very must. So you need to be very cautious and very, you know, because these guys are traveling, their laptops, their telephones, they stop working and they calling you and saying, what happened? You need to reply. You need to do it. So knowing this thing is the most important thing that's you to start with this, because all of it would be remote access. Actually, they call you a remote analyst. And without this thing, you cannot access any system, any other system. Okay, so that's why I'm showing it, even though it's not, I mean, it's not related at all with what we're going to do. But we need to start from something. Right? It's an important to understand the technique behind this thing. Okay, any questions, guys?